Hey guys, so today we're going to be talking about multi-step equations. Okay, and I started off by giving you guys this equation multi-step sheet that has the caterpillar on it, just so that I could get a feel for what you guys remembered about multi-step equations. I'm going to try to do the first little section with you, and this is going to be what we're going to call as number 1. Okay, and with multi-step equations, you must get the x by itself. So it must be like x equals 5 or x equals 7. So the whole goal is to get all the x's or variables on one side and then the numbers on the other side, and to get rid of the fractions if possible. So with number 1, the first step I would do is to move this 10 over here, okay? And that way I can get rid of my fraction. So I'm going to move the 10, and by doing the opposite of what's being done, so I would subtract. So that just says if I'm adding on the left side, then I'm going to be subtracting on the right side. So now I have left x over 2 equals x, and then that's going to be minus 13. Okay, now I have a fraction on the left side. Well, to get rid of a fraction, I'm dividing by 2, so I'm going to multiply by 2. And that means that if I multiply by 2 on this side, then I would have to multiply by 2 on the other side, but I have to multiply everything by 2. Okay, so I would be canceling out this 2, so I'd have x left over here, and then I'd be distributing this 2 throughout the right side. So I'd have 2x minus 26. Okay, my next step, I want to get the 2x to the other side with the other x. So here, this is positive, so I'm going to be subtracting 2x. So then I'm just left with negative 1x equals negative 26. And now I'm going to divide everything by negative 1. Okay, so that would just give me x equals 26, and that would be my answer. Well, if I go over here on my coloring sheet, my answer is between 25 and 32. So that means I'm going to color the little guy's circle for this one black. So you would just color that in. Okay, let's do the second circle. Okay, and I'm hoping that this little review is going to help you guys. So this is number 2, and we have 2x minus x plus 9 equals negative 6. And as you can see, my x's aren't combined, so usually they would have already been combined. So I can actually combine these, and if you have a 2x and you subtract one of the x's, you just have 1x. Okay, now I have to move the 9 to the other side because it wants to be with the other number. So we'll move that by subtracting because we were originally adding. So we have 1x equals, and we would subtract these, so we would get negative 15. And you don't have to write that 1, so it's just x equals negative 15. And so if x is negative 15, that means that I am going to be coloring my second circle negative 20 and negative 11, and negative 15 is in between there, so that will be red. Okay, so let's do the third circle. So this third problem, and I actually really like this problem because on the left side you can totally cancel out the bottom because everything is being divided by that 2. So as you can see, you have the 2 that you're dividing the whole entire left side by. So if you multiplied it, you could multiply it all on this side, and that means we're going to multiply on this side, And then that would give you a 78. And then you would just have 6x plus 5 in parentheses left over on that side. So what you would have to do, you see parentheses, so you have to distribute. So we'd have 6x plus 30 equals 78. Okay, so then we would have to subtract the 30. So when we subtract 30 from 78, we get a 48. And then I'm going to bring down this 6x. Well, we have 6x and it's essentially being multiplied together because it's right next to each other. So we're going to divide by 6, x equals 8. Okay, so if x equals 8, that means that I'm going to color the third little section blue. Because that says that answers 0 through 10 would be colored blue. So I'd color this one blue. And I hope your coloring is better than mine. Okay. All right, so the next one. Next one is a little bit more challenging. Okay, so we have this fraction, this 4x over 20 plus 10 equals 2x minus 26. Okay, so the whole goal is to get all the x's on one side, okay, and then all your numbers on the other side. So what I would start off by doing is moving this 10 over here, okay, because I'm eventually going to want to get rid of the 20. So before I can even do that, I have to get rid of the 10, because this has to go before I can multiply everything by 20. So I'm going to subtract the 10. Okay, and then when I subtract that, I'm going to get 2x, and this is going to be a minus 36. Okay, kind of watch out for your integers here, because with the adding and subtracting, when you're subtracting something that's negative, it's going to become positive, but in this case, you had two negatives, so that's just going to make it even more negative. Okay, so then I'm left with the 4x over 20. And then if I have everything that is by itself now, like I don't have a plus 10 over here. I just have this, like, I have this 4x that I'm dividing by 20. So that means that I can multiply by 20 now. Okay, so if I multiply by 20 on this side, to cancel that out, I'm left with 4x over here, and that's good. But I have to multiply by 20 on the other side, and remember that I have to multiply by 20 for each term that's on that side. Okay, so you can't forget to do that. So you would have 2 times 20, which would be positive 40. And then you would have negative 720. Okay, and your next step is to get this 40x over here with the 4x. So we would be subtracting. Okay, remember when you have something positive and you're subtracting a negative, you know, this is going to be, yeah, I mean, you're going to get a negative number. So you're going to have a 36x and then a negative 720. So if you just divide that by negative 36, you're going to get a positive number. And actually, if you put it in your calculator, it's a whole number. So x equals 20. So that means that I am going to color that section yellow. If I have a yellow, let's see. So yellow, oops, that's red. Let's do yellow. So this will be yellow. Okay, and you guys can use these examples to help you finish the rest of the problems. Anytime, like the next example with the negative x plus 4, I mean, you can go back to my example number 2 because those are kind of alike. And you can always just look back to see what I did. You know, with the fractions, you're going to want to move everything over, and then once you get everything moved over, then you can multiply by the bottom number on both sides. Okay, and if you guys need additional help besides this video, you can always come see me. So that was just basically multi-step equations. You just always remember that you must get the variable alone on one side, and then you want to get your answer, which would be a number, on the other side.